How can I put this? I'm Generation X. Someone said on TikTok said it perfectly. Generation X were the last of the feral children, which I can pretty much agree upon. We had to pretty much toughen up. It toughened us up, and we kind of got desensitized. Look, I've been called faggot more than I heard my own name in my lifetime.
Faggot. Oh, what you said? Queen.
Throw a rock into a pond, ripples fade away. Human hearts aren't so lucky, those battle scars remain. Oh.
Hello. Welcome back, my friends. If you're new here, I am Lance. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new to this channel and you're not too sure what this channel's about, I do random videos, movie reactions, sometimes TV show reactions. Depends on the show. Like I did The Last of Us. I've done a few compilations. You can check out my compilations. I have. I love to showcase other reactors. I have called a whole playlist called Reactor Spotlight. My favorite reactors that I enjoy that I react to. So I also have that little series. So yeah, that's what this channel's about. I also have some video game. I do some video gaming in here too. I have a gaming channel. I need to kind of get back onto that sooner or later. But right now, but yeah, that's what this channel's about. If you're interested in that, everything's very lighthearted. We don't do anything strong political here. If you want political, go. There's Hassan Piker and there's Blair White, and talk to them on their chat in their channel. That's what that's there for. I am lighthearted. I watch the news enough as it is. I want to get away from it, so that's why I come to this. I have this channel so you can escape, have a little fun, get away from all the social justice, just extreme people from both sides. I can't stand extreme people. I'm a libertarian. I stay in my own little lane in the middle because both sides, this generation has gone crazy. I don't know. I've watched I watched through the 80s as a kid. Politics, they seemed a little bit more. They had more decorum. Boring, but they had more decorum. Nowadays, it is like a Jerry Springer episode. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So anyway, this channel is about lightness and effortlessness and Guatemalaness. That's what this channel's about. Zen, having fun, just being carefree. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm tired of all this bullshit. So I wanted a channel that just everyone could be here. If you're gay, if you're straight, if you're bi, you're tri, I don't care. Just be a cool person. Don't push your values on me. I won't push your values on you. We'll be cool. Keep that shit on Twitter. Not on this channel. Not this Christian channel, honey. Now, you're not going to do this on this Christian channel. Anyway, the reason why I'm doing this random video today is because I'm still working on Joker. And it's going to take a while because movie reactions take a while. And I am not going to kill myself in 2 days to try to do a movie reaction and not hardly getting sleep. I did that with the last two movies. I'm like, no, I need to figure out a way to have random videos in between movie and TV show reactions and stuff like that. And by the way, heads up, I have Shameless. If you guys are interested in continuing continue the series Shameless, please engage in. I have the first 3 episodes up, and please watch if you want me to continue that series. So just letting you know that. Heads up. So today, I don't think on this channel we ever reacted to Patrick CC. Patrick CC is a commentary creator who I've watched. I've watched Patrick Swayze. I like him. He always seems kind of like, he's kind of like, I don't know. He seems pretty non-biased. But well, I used to. I think I reacted to, what was the one that I stopped reacting to after that whole Mr. Beast episode? I forget who he is now. But anyway, Patrick CC is another commentary channel. This one is called Dave Chappelle Will Never Stop. I'm very curious. I personally like Dave Chappelle. I grew up. I was in that. I remember when Chappelle Show came on. I remember the very first episode came out. I watched it that night. I was off that night, thank God. And me and a couple friends, that was everyone talked about, was the Chappelle Show on Comedy Central. And it was a world event after you saw that first episode. You saw something special. I love Dave Chappelle. I know there's been a lot of controversy with Dave Chappelle, with him and the trans community. I think a lot of it is just overhyped. I heard what he said as far as his joke. I people are just too sensitive anymore. I rewatched quite a few of those with the jokes people got so pissed off about it. I re-listened them. I'm like, just people are overly sensitive. And he even talked about he had a trans friend that committed suicide. I'm curious what Patrick CC got to say about this. So let's get into it. Before we do, I'm going to leave Patrick CC's information down in the description below, but also put in the title too, so you can click on it and we'll check out any of the array of videos in his archives, and give him a subscribe, like, and notification. Show him some love. That, say, hey, I just watched Lance's reaction on his channel, and I want to come over here and say, hey, I'm going to binge your videos. Well appreciated. Show some love. And come back here. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification. And what else? I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get right into this. This is a 21-minute video. Get your drink, get your popcorn, get your devil's lettuce. Whatever you need to do to relax and sit back and let's enjoy.
Don't touch
me. Deck that bitch. What the girl?
I beat that bitch with a bat.
I can't fix America.
Good comedians will make you laugh. The best comedians will make you laugh at things you are not supposed to.
Wait a minute. Hold on. That's kind of loud. Hold on. Let's start that again, though. That was kind of loud. Okay, let's try this again.
Good comedians will make you laugh. The best comedians will make you laugh at things you are not supposed to laugh at. Iconic comedians will transcend the punchlines, challenge societal norms, transgress established boundaries, and continue to share their thoughts despite an uproar of negative criticism. Dave Chappelle is an iconic comedian, but he did not get there easily. There have been numerous attempts to silence Dave, whether it was a heckler, an angry journalist, or a multi-billion-dollar organization, but Dave was never willing to compromise his integrity. Not for one man, not for $1. His big break in Hollywood was when Universal Pictures bought a movie Dave and Neil Brennan wrote called Half Baked.
Did you guys see that movie, the movie Half Baked with Dave Chappelle? You should watch it once. I actually did a video and I put a clip of that in the video because there was a perfect moment when they were smoking weed in the movie. It was like, oh, I need this clip in the video. But Half Baked was it's a stoner comedy. So, take it as you will. It is a stoner comedy, but Dave Chappelle and God, a couple other, I can never think their names, but yeah, check out Half Baked. Oh my God, I love stoner movies. Oh my God, I love stoner movies, like Dazed and Confused. But anyway, let's keep going.
It's a silly stoner comedy reminiscent of Jay and Silent
Bob. Why did they even
that
mention it?
Wasn't a huge hit, but the movie did gross $17 million against a $7 million budget and has become a cult classic since. 24-year-old Dave wasn't fully happy with the way the film came out, but he was extremely proud to have his movie on the big screen at such a young age. From there, he started pitching a television show to various networks.
Hold on. Oh, that's... This is me right here. This is me right here. This is me right here. is smoking a big brick of marijuana, dude. I'd be sniffing that shit till I'll be trying to snort it, that whole brick in my nose. Like, oh my god, it smells so good. What strain is this? Is this Maui? What is this? Purple Urple? What is it? Oh my god. Oh my god, is this an indica hybrid or a sativa? Oh, I just got the goosebumps just then. Oh, talk about weed. I love it.
24-year-old Dave wasn't fully happy with the way the film came out, but he was extremely proud to have his movie on the big screen at such a young age. From there, he started pitching a television show to various networks.
I'd be grabbing
Fox
that
was
shit too.
interested, but they worried the show casted too many black people. More specifically, they thought the female star of the show wasn't funny, and they wanted Dave to recast her to a white actress. Dave simply denied, because this particular sitcom was based on his life, and he grew up in an all-black household. A few days after that meeting, Variety posted an article that claimed he was playing the race card. Dave said, "This network built itself on black viewers, and what they're saying is white people are narcissistic. They don't want to watch black people. They want to watch themselves. It tells every black artist no matter what you do, you need whites to succeed." Fox claims they were making a light suggestion to add a different perspective, a point of view that allows a larger audience to appreciate it.
Really though, what you're doing is you're just trying to get the most bang for your buck. So you want to pander to what you could do to pander to the most like vast majority of people, so you can make the money and everyone else can suck hind tit. So you'll change somebody's art that way, you can maximize your profit. That's what it is. They're like these big studios are doing anybody a favor.
Most young people in the industry would just accept the request of a major corporation. But Dave was unashamed of his decision and was willing to tell the world exactly how he felt. "I felt like I was beaten up and completely degraded," he said. "It's disgusting, and it made me want to vomit." It pretty much took Dave one bad experience to know this whole Hollywood thing is overrated. To make matters worse, his father was on his deathbed. While traveling back and forth from LA to Ohio, he realized how much he loved the small town of Yellow Springs. He describes it as something so real in contrast to Hollywood's powerful illusion. Dave purchased a farm out in the town with 3,000 people because he can focus on his family and friends. He can have real, genuine interactions with people who aren't trying to...
Wait a minute, what did he just say? Hold on.
Hollywood's powerful illusion. Dave purchased a farm out in the town with 3,000 people because...
Okay. He purchased...
small town of Yellow Springs. He describes it as something so real in contrast to Hollywood's powerful illusion. Dave purchased a farm out in the town with 3,000 people because...
Okay, he purchased a house. He purchased a farm in a town of 3,000 people. I thought he misspoke and like he was like trying to say the square inches of his estate on his land. I thought he meant 3,000 square feet, and he actually misspoke. No. He said it right. My brain was going someplace else. He was like, "You're not going on that journey. You got to listen to me, so we go on this journey." And I'm like, "Okay, sir, I will go on that journey with you."
Because he can focus on his family and friends. He can have real, genuine interactions with people who aren't trying to gain something from him. Sadly, his father passed away at the young age of 59. William David Chappelle III was a veteran, college professor, and an organizer in the civil rights movement in Ohio. Although young Dave lost the man he would go to for all of his advice, he knew that his father would want him to stand up and speak out for what he thought was right. Dave was not going to let anyone walk all over him, because Comedy Central was about to try their best at controlling him.
Comedy Central is a bitch. He's not the only one people's had like who's dealt with Comedy Central. They're vicious, Comedy Central. They're pretty cutthroat. And Dave Chappelle was one of the biggest stories, but there was like other stories that came out after that from other people who did shows with them. And Or even who what anyway, it doesn't matter. I can't even think of who the person's name is now.
Dave was convinced that after his father had passed, he was done with the show business, and he was just going to do stand-up. His first hour-long comedy special, Killin' Them Softly, released
so
on HBO,
good.
and many consider this to be one of the best stand-up specials
Yeah,
of all
it was
time.
so damn
People knew
good.
Dave was a generational talent. He knew it. He could not give up on this dream. He started writing a variety show with various skits and sketches that were
He was Puff Daddy when he did that. When Puff Daddy had that stupid reality show. Oh my god.
personal and relatable to the common man. He knew he had something big, and after a few years in 2003, he decided to pitch a new show titled The Chappelle Show, which got picked up by Comedy Central for 2 seasons. The Chappelle Show is regarded by many as the greatest sketch comedy show in history. Dave would open the show performing stand-up to a live audience and then shift the joke into a pre-recorded sketch. All of his bits were rooted in a great deal of irony, basically conveying the exact opposite of what you would expect, like this employee training video that teaches you exactly how to get fired.
Getting to work.
First of all, never show up on time.
He created characters that would earn die-hard fan bases, like Tyrone Biggums, who
Oh
was,
my God.
well, pretty much just a crackhead, or Clayton Bigsby, the world's only black white supremacist. Due to his blindness, he didn't know that he was actually black. Sometimes his characters were just over-exaggerated versions of real people, like Lil Jon or Rick James.
Oh, Rick James. Or Prince.
Rick James. Enjoy yourself.
Edgy isn't even a good enough word to describe Dave's humor. He was way over the edge with some of
Oh my god. The player haters ball right here. This was a great skit right here. The player haters ball. Oh my god. Oh god.
these bits. The most
Such a
shocking of
great
them all was perhaps
show.
the Hard R family, a rich suburban white family whose last name is the racial slur.
Morning, niggas.
Why, it's Clifton, our colored milk man.
And it's my favorite family to deliver milk to. The niggas.
He actually
The very
put
first
it in
episode
there.
of Chappelle Show
He
tackled
actually put it in there. He didn't beep it.
extremely risky subject,
Oh my
basically
God.
became a mission statement for the program. If you don't like this, you won't like anything else. Something like
Yeah.
The Chappelle Show will never air on TV ever again, but at
No.
the time, people loved it. Now, even in
Mm-hmm.
2004, the mainstream media was against shocking, vulgar, and risky entertainment, but they had a little tolerance.
Oh shit! Look at him with the mustache. Oh, he looks cute right there. Work. Go ahead, Patrick.
The solution back then was put it on after hours, like after 9 p.m. when the kids are asleep. The Chappelle Show averaged 3.1 million viewers per episode in 2004, just shy of Saturday Night Live's 3.7 million. However, Dave's impact on culture at that time far exceeded SNL. He was a superstar comedian at a time where comedy was missing superstars. Dave's show saved Comedy Central from failing and made them
If you guys never seen the Dave Chappelle Rick James thing, that's another one too. The Rick James and the Prince one he did. Oh my god, it's iconic. Or when was it? What was it? What's that? Ask a gay guy or ask a black guy. They had oh my god, Paul Mooney to ask a black guy. And Paul Mooney, it was so funny. And when they had, what was this, another segment they had, Ask a Gay Guy. And they had Mario Cantone, that big old queen, from Sex and the City. I didn't never watch Sex and the City. I know friends who told me he was in Sex and the City. And I think I even saw a couple trailers, commercials, promoting the show. And he was in the trailer or whatever. And I was like, oh, Mario Cantone. Long time openly gay comedian. I hate the word queer. Gay comedian. I remember when I was a teenager. I was before a teenager. He was stand up for a long time. Like Leah Delaria, a lesbian comedian. She's been doing stand up forever. She was also in The Orange Is the New Black. If that gives you any kind of, she was Mama Goose, Puss. What was her name again? Big Smoke. Something like that. I don't know. Big Pussy. What was her name? Anyway, foosball or something. I can't remember. But she was in that show. But yeah, it was a great series.
A ton of money. Chappelle Show Season 2 Uncensored has broken both the first day and 7-day sales records for TV on DVD, with close to 500,000 units sold on its May 24th release date and more than 1.2 million units sold in its first week on the market. Chappelle Show Season 1 Uncensored, released last year, is the best-selling TV on DVD title with close to 3 million copies.
Patrick CC, you better watch out because Illuminati might come after you for using this highlighter effect. I used to like Illuminati until all that shit happened. You know what? I was going to react to one of her videos in the past, and there was something in the back of my head. And I didn't hear nothing about any of this drama. But there was something in the back of my head thinking, I better not react to her videos. She might not be a cool person. And then, what is it? Not even a year later, all that shit came out. But something was telling me, you get vibes from people. You might know who these people are, but sometimes your subconscious or something it doesn't feel right in your soul. It just doesn't sit right with you. You know, you got to listen to that intuition. And I was like, there was one video I want to react to. It was such a good video by her. It was about, what was it about? It was about Carvana. It's like a car vending machine thing. She did a whole fantastic video about Carvana, which blew my mind, and I was like, oh my God, this would be great. But something told me, it was like, I don't know, she seems not cool. Are you cool, man? Are you cool? She didn't seem cool. So something was telling me never react to any of her things because she might not be a cool dude. And then come to find out she wasn't. She was actually a fucking nightmare.
Copies sold. Because of the first 2 seasons' undeniable success, Comedy Central offered Dave a whopping $50 million for a new season. But
that was
instead,
crazy.
He walked away.
Yeah.
Like many people who are new to
Everyone
the entertainment industry,
was blown
Dave
away
signed
by
a
that.
contract that he didn't fully understand. Of course, he hired a lawyer, but ultimately he knew this show was great for his career and he would make good money. What could possibly go wrong? Dave says he never got paid for the Chappelle Show because the contract said Comedy Central didn't have to pay him. This contract also said that they have the exclusive right to use the name and likeness of the artist in perpetuity throughout the universe in any and all media known or invented in the future. On top of them literally owning him, Dave just straight up didn't like the fame and attention. He just liked comedy. But even that was getting ruined. One night while he was performing in Sacramento, California, he walked off the stage after berating his audience for constantly shouting, "I'm Rick James, bitch," which had become a catchphrase from the popular Rick James sketch on his show. Stand-up is the most important thing I do, and because I'm on TV, you make it hard for me to do it, he said. The show is ruining my life, Chappelle told the crowd. Besides requiring him to work 20 hours a day, it has made him a star, which has resulted in the inability of fans to treat him as an individual. So when Comedy Central offered him $50 million, it came with stipulations. He had to get approvals on certain jokes. He didn't have full creative control, and they worked him like a dog. It wasn't worth the money. So one day, he just walked off set and moved to South Africa, desperate to get as far away from Hollywood as possible.
I remember the talk when that story broke that he went to South Africa. A lot of people thought that was a bogus story. I didn't think it was real. I was like, come on. Why would he go to South Africa? Like, that extreme. He can't just go back to his house and just say, unplug the phone, girl. Really? Kind of dramatic. But I can see where he's coming from. I don't blame him. Hollyweird. Like when I was younger and a teenager, even in my 20s, I glamorized Hollywood because you see on the like Entertainment Weekly and all this stuff and the glitz and red carpets and it just looks so fabulous and stuff. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. The older I got, the more I was like, why? Waste your energy on that and worry about these people who don't know you from a can of paint and work on yourself. Use that energy toward yourself. And that's what I did. That's how I was able to kick off opiates. That's how I was able to like save money so I can start my channel and stuff like that. So sometimes you have to work on yourself. Let's get back into it. But anyway, yeah, South Africa. Sorry, I ran. I'm a little bit elevated, if you can tell. So, yeah, I couldn't believe it. And a lot of people, yeah, he really did. And I can tell why.
In response, Comedy Central ran a smear campaign on him, saying that he was crazy and on drugs. In May 2005, Comedy Central began promoting the anticipated debut of Chappelle's Show Season 3. One day later, the channel announced that the production on the show had been unexpectedly suspended. Then 1 week later, every news outlet reported that Chappelle had checked into a mental health facility in South Africa, perpetuating the narrative that he was mentally unstable. Some reports said he was even smoking crack.
I was freaked out, man, with the fame thing and being called crazy and drug addict and all these things. Scared me.
That's fucked up. They do that to you.
Just being treated that way. Like I'm not a person anymore. You say this shit about me in front of my children, and who the f do these people think they are? And they don't know what happened.
Dave's exit from the $50 million deal was one of the most profound statements in pop culture history. He was already mega famous, but ironically, this exit made him even more famous. One 2006 article said, "These days, if Dave Chappelle merely catches a cold, it winds up in the media or on the internet." He fired back, saying he was not on drugs and he was not crazy. In fact, he was the most level-headed person out there, denying money for his sanity. "I'm not in a mental facility. Everyone around me says, 'You're a genius, you're great, that's your voice.' But I'm not sure they're right." You hear so many voices jockeying for position in your mind that you want to make sure you hear your own voice. So I figured, let me just cut myself off from everybody, take a minute and pull a Flintstone, stop a speeding car by using my bare feet as the brakes. Hollywood just couldn't fathom that someone who became famous would choose to abandon that lifestyle. He did make a short reappearance at the 48th Grammy Awards where he received a standing ovation. Right in front of the entire industry, Dave told them how he didn't want to be there.
The only thing harder than leaving show business is coming back.
Later that evening, he went to an after-party held at the home of the legendary artist Prince. Instead of talking to Mariah Carey, Common, or industry powerhouses, he sat in a chair on the back patio, only conversing with people who wanted to. He looks like he is hiding from his peers, hiding from the attention, hiding from the part of himself that is a major star. Dave said, "This ain't really my thing." After that night, Dave realized it was time to disappear, and he did just that. And nobody really heard from him for many years.
What did you do for those 10 years?
It was a humble existence. I had young children. I was raising my kids. I was living a suburban life. And then every once in a while, I get this feeling like I'm the funniest guy. I got to get out there. And I would fly to Denver, do a week in Denver or something. And that's when you would read I was doing these 6-hour shows. I performed like I was desperate for it. I loved it.
Yeah.
He rode across the country on a motorcycle.
That's cool. It's just like whenever you know what? I feel like I want to do some stand-up. I want to just be on the stage for a while. Yeah, I heard about he was doing those marathons. And during that same time, Dane Cook, I used to have a huge crush on Dane Cook. And I saw him live. An old girlfriend of mine, not like a girlfriend, but a homegirl. For my birthday, she got me Dane Cook tickets because I had such a huge crush on him. She's the one who turned me on to Dane Cook, but anyway, that's neither here, there, or anywhere. But yeah, Dane Cook was trying to beat Dave Chappelle's record on trying to do stand up for as long as he could. Whatever, dude.
Focused on raising his children, maintained good standing relationships with his friends. He lived an extremely normal life, just like me and most of you watching this video. Dave would only make selective appearances from 2005 to 2016. He had a few random stand-up performances here and there. One of them even broke a world record. A 6-hour and 7-minute set at the Laugh Factory became the longest comedic performance in history. He performed at the Oddball Comedy Tour in 2013, doing large arenas around the country. In Hartford, Connecticut, he was booed and heckled during his entire set.
Wow.
until he left the stage saying this crowd was the worst one he had seen in his whole life. This bomb made Dave realize he was rusty, and he needed to get back to being funny again. So in 2014, he made a grand comeback by headlining 10 nights at New York City's iconic Radio City Music Hall. The buzz surrounding his return grew as he was interviewed on...
I would never think if they booed the shit out of him. That was rough to see that little clip just then. It took me a moment to like process it to say anything, but that was rough to see they boo all. Oof. That was a lot of people booing and heckling. Ugh, oof, oof.
On various late-night talk shows, Dave rocked the sold-out crowds every single night, selling over 60,000 tickets in total. These unforgettable shows marked his official return to the spotlight after his prolonged absence. Dave achieved a legendary status just from his Comedy Central show and one stand-up special. The comedy community as a whole was honored to have him back. He hosted Saturday Night Live during election weekend, when Trump won in 2016.
Donald Trump, he did it. He's our president. I feel bad saying it. I'm staying in a Trump hotel right now. I don't know if he's gonna make a good president, but he makes a swell hotel suite, I'm gonna tell you that. Housekeeping comes in the morning, cleans my room, and I just, hey, good morning, housekeeping. Grab a big handful of pussy, say, you know. Boss said it was okay.
Do you know the U.S. Solar Company's nasty little secret? It turns out, if you live in Florida, they have to give you...
Citizens feared that the new president was going to destroy this country. Dave was skeptical, but ended his monologue with this message.
I'm wishing Donald Trump luck, and I'm gonna give him a chance, and we, the historically disenfranchised, demand that he give us one too. Thank you very much.
Netflix announced that they would be hosting Dave for 3 specials, in which he would be receiving $20 million for each one. In a way, this can be seen as making up for the trouble he went through with Comedy Central. The Age of Spin was released on Netflix in 2017 and was met with good reviews. Months
I don't think I saw that one.
Headlining at Radio City Music Hall, he made multiple jokes about the transgender community. One in specific talks about Trump banning trans people from serving in the US military, in which Dave pokes fun and says that ISIS would be horrified to see trans women storming at them. Chappelle says he doesn't understand trans people, but doesn't think that disqualifies them from being a human being that deserves a life with dignity and happiness and respect. He ended by arguing that sometimes he thinks the only reason all of us are talking about transgenders is because white men want to do it. If it was just black people and Mexicans like, hey y'all, we feel like girls inside, they'd be like, shut up, no one asked you how you felt. Dave received a lot of criticism.
He has a point right there, though. He has a point right there. That's a good point. That's a damn good point. That's a damn good point he made.
With many citing that it doesn't matter he is joking because they are rooted in bigotry and overgeneralizations, or they say he shouldn't joke about a topic he is uneducated on. This back and forth just perpetuated more jokes and commentary from Dave. It became a bulk of his material.
You know who hates me the most? The transgender community.
Despite the controversy, his comeback was receiving all the praise. In 2017, Chappelle received a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album for his first 2 specials, The Age of Spin and Deep in the Heart of Texas, and later that year would go on to receive an Emmy Award and another Grammy for Outstanding Variety Special for Equanimity. He also won the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, but it was in 2019 where the backlash reached new heights.
I think
Sticks and Stones in 2019.
This is the one I
didn't
saw.
hold back on this one. Me Too, gun control, opioid crisis, cancel culture, and of course the transgender community. He covered every hot button topic in one special. Sticks and Stones marks a shift. This performance felt way more like a piece of social commentary rather than stand-up comedy, at least in the first half. Now I think this goes without saying, but comedy is extremely nuanced. Cherry-picking clips and bits can often remove the necessary context that sells a joke. NBC said that today's context-free Twitter culture is preventing Dave from thriving. You're either fighting President Donald Trump or you're a MAGA apologist. You're either believe all women or you're anti-Me Too.
Yeah, it's either that or that.
The world is not one in which Dave Chappelle has ever operated, particularly now. Many people read headlines and tweets, then form opinions without actually digesting the material. However, even those who did fully digest the special still were not impressed. Sticks and Stones registers as a temper tantrum, the product of a man who wants it all. money, fame, influence, without much having to answer to anyone. Forbes chimed in with, Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones tries too hard to offend. Comedians have always made jokes about current societal standards and political climates.
I thought it was a
discussing
good special.
Societal issues mixed in with
I thought it was a
bits
very
make their performances relatable but not too serious. Dave and many people in defense of comedy argue that nothing is off limits when it comes to jokes, but opposers pick and choose what is allowed to be joked about. At this point, we're re-entering a familiar cycle. Chappelle releases a special on Netflix, he says something incendiary, it's quoted back to him in a headline, and Chappelle reacts to the criticism in another Netflix special. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. A comedian is not absolved from criticism, and critics don't have to think someone is funny. This cycle is a product of free speech, and any sane human understands both sides are allowed and should speak their mind. One person who knows that the most is Dave Chappelle, who boycotted his own show because he felt like it. In 2020, Viacom, the owner of The Chappelle Show, licensed the show to Netflix and HBO Max without providing Dave with any compensation and without making him aware of the deal. He was aware that it was legal in the court of law, as it was stated in the contract he signed during the show's initial negotiations, but he saw the move as unethical. In a video released by Dave titled Unforgiven, he would ask his fans to boycott the show on HBO until he was paid, citing the ethical obligations of Viacom to pay him what he was owed. Since he had such a good relationship with Netflix, he was furious they did this to him because of how badly Comedy Central treated him.
So you know what I did? I called them and I told them that this makes me feel bad. And do you want to know what they did? They agreed that they would take it off their platform just so I could feel better. That's why I with Netflix.
Dave and his fans praised Netflix for removing the show based on his feelings, but they were shocked when members of the trans community tried to get Dave's special removed because he hurt their feelings. The Closer was his 2021 Netflix special where he again made jokes about trans people, as well as anti-gay jokes and defending TERFs. He stated in the special that gender is a fact. In the special's closing moments, he tells a story about his friend Daphne Dorman, who was a trans woman and stand-up comedian, that defended Dave from criticism in his previous special, Sticks and Stones. Punching down requires you to consider yourself superior to another group. Dave Chappelle doesn't consider himself better than me in any way. He isn't punching up or punching down. He's punching lines. That's his job, and he's a master of his craft. Dave claimed that Daphne Dorman received so much hate from her own community that she died by suicide 6 days after the special. Right-wing media went into a frenzy saying the trans community are hypocrites and will destroy their own people. However, there is little evidence that supports Daphne's expiration has anything to do with hate. Back in 2019, that tweet had just 12 replies. Another tweet supporting Chappelle had 9. The Instagram post in which she declared her friendship with Chappelle doesn't have any critical replies. Comments on her Facebook post announcing that she was opening for Chappelle are uniformly positive. So are the ones on Reddit after she posted about it there. She doesn't appear to have said anything on Twitter or Facebook about receiving abuse. Her suicide note doesn't mention bullying, nor do any of the obituaries written after her death. Because of this, many people thought Dave was using someone's death to his own benefit, and the trans community were tired of Dave. Netflix employees interpreted The Closer as hate speech, and 65 employees because
That's
of this,
interesting.
posted about it there. Her friendship with Chappelle doesn't have any critical replies. Comments on her Facebook post announcing that she was opening for Chappelle are uniformly positive. So are the ones on Reddit after she posted about it there. She doesn't appear to have said anything on Twitter or Facebook about receiving abuse. Her suicide note doesn't mention bullying, nor do any of the obituaries written after her death. Because of this, many people thought Dave was using someone's death to his own benefit, and the trans community were tired of Dave. Netflix employees interpreted The Closer as hate speech, and 65 employees participated in a walkout in protest of the company. The protest garnered a lot of support online. However, it was generally unsuccessful because Netflix has stood behind Dave, kept his specials up, and continued to work with him in the future. Then things escalated to physical violence against Dave.
Make some noise for hip-hop history.
Isaiah Lee was the name of the suspect who later admitted why he attacked the comedian.
I identify as bisexual, and I wanted him to know what he said was triggering. I wanted him to know that next time, he should consider first running his material by people it could affect.
Isaiah Lee has also been charged with attempted murder after stabbing his roommate. In a last effort to take down...
Yeah, okay, first of all, that has mental issues. We could call it bisexuality, but the mental issues, if you go and try to fucking stab somebody and have the audacity to be fucking, you got some mental issues. You can't blame that on your bisexuality. I'm sorry. That you just have some fucked up issues. and you stabbed your roommate.
Dave, a venue in Minneapolis, canceled a sold-out show of his hours before the doors were set to open. We believe in diverse voices and the freedom of artistic expression, but in honoring that, we lost sight of the impact this would have. The event was moved to a smaller venue in the same city and sold out 2 shows back-to-back. It seemed like the more backlash Dave got, the more it would ultimately help his career. The Closer was nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Variety Special. To close out the year, Dave took the stage on SNL and delivered the show's opening monologue. And yes, he faced even more controversy. Recently, Kanye West had went on an anti-Semitic rant on social media, to which Dave responded with,
I denounce anti-Semitism in all its forms.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh my God.
And I stand with my friends in the Jewish community. And that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time. You know, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
Despite Dave obviously disagreeing with Kanye, his jokes entertain the possibility that some of what Ye said holds an ounce of truth, which led to even more critics calling Dave anti-Semitic. He ended the monologue with a message.
It shouldn't be this scary to talk about anything. It's making my job incredibly difficult. And to be honest with you, I'm getting sick of talking to a crowd like this. I love you to death. And I thank you for your support. And I hope they don't take anything away from me. Whoever they are.
Some people think that Dave's legacy has been tainted by hardcore transphobia, or trying too hard to be controversial. Even though his comedy has always towed the line as to what is socially acceptable, Dave has benefited greatly from free speech. He has gained hundreds of millions of dollars and die-hard fans around the world, so it's only fair if his opposition can also speak up and voice their opinions and disagreements with his performances. All attempts to silence Dave have been proven unsuccessful, because no matter what, he will always get right back on that stage and speak his mind.
All right.
This is Jordan with Eustace.
Jordan, I don't give 2 shits about you, sir. All right. Patrick, you did a great video. That was a fucking fantastic video. How can I put this? I'm Generation X. I'm part of Generation X. Someone said on TikTok, said it perfectly. Generation X were the last of the feral children, which I can pretty much agree upon. We had to pretty much toughen up. It toughened us up, and we kind of got desensitized. Look, I've been called faggot more than I heard my own name in my lifetime.
Faggot. Oh, what you said? Queen.
I'm so desensitized to it. It's just, I don't let, the older I grew, now in my teens and my 20s, I'll be more upset and I'll probably lash out. But when I hit my 30s, I realized I don't want to give these people that my power. Give them that power. You know what I'm saying? I give them that power to let that word affect me. It's just, you're going to deal with ignorant people in your lifetime. There's not going to be people who are going to like you. There's not going to be people who are going to be your friends. That's just how life is. But there's going to be people in your life, wonderful people in your life, that is going to enter your life and really going to treasure you and treat you like a friend. Now, however, you got to watch out for the snake in the grass, the narcissists, manipulators. You got to watch out for those. You got to weed out real good quality friends and snakes in the grass. You don't want to end up being a Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? That girl has a reputation. Being a snake, you don't want to be like her unless you think that's awesome. Then, you do you. But I don't know. It's so crazy right now. This is probably the first and last time I'm ever going to talk about, because I don't like to talk about anything just like news related and stuff. But right now, it just breaks my heart seeing my community it's in the civil war right now. My own community is in the civil war. All I've been seeing popping up, and I've been hearing ramblings of it, the end of last year to, is it the end of last year or at least beginning of this year, of the ramblings of the LGB want to separate themselves from the T and the Q. I can't believe that's happening. With all this going on, with all the extreme on both sides, it's a new peak of it's bubbling over. His own community is divided. I can't. In my lifetime, like I remember watching as a kid, the news reports of people dying of AIDS, men, women. Later on, you start hearing about children dying because the parents were users or they had it, and you saw that, and I saw, you know, these these hateful televangelists just talk how about the gay agenda and stuff like that, and watching that growing up, and oh my God, what am I? But then later on, you start seeing a little bit more improvements. People start getting more knowledgeable about gay people and stuff like that. So it does get better and stuff like that. But seeing a divide in our own community, which I don't know. I think the biggest threat that no one's talking about is the maps. They're trying to basically hide in our community and just kind of attach ourselves to the community. Let me tell you something. If you're not aware of maps are minor attracted people. Basically, now in the 90s, I remember when I was a teenager, the Advocate had an article talking about NAMBLA, the National Man-Boy Love Association, that was trying to attach themselves to the LGBT. They would like come to the pride events. They would, you know, start, you know, trinkling. And the guy who wrote the article said, we got to nip this in the bud. We can't have this. We can't have this in our neighborhood. And they nipped in the bud by the second year. I think they kind of like, no, you're not coming to our events. You're not associated with us. No. Now they look like they evolved to maps. And there was one TikTok I saw, or YouTube short, where there's a preschool teacher talking about sympathizing with maps. Minor attracted people. Sympathizing. Oh, you're a teacher. I don't even like kids, but I'll tell you what, this much. I want to have you teaching my children. To me, that's a big, big thing that no one's talking about. I don't like that shit. I don't like kitty diddlers whatsoever. That's ridiculous. But I don't know. It's crazy though. It is crazy. What do you guys think about this? Have you guys heard about this in the news about the separation between the two? I don't know. I'm still processing the whole thing. You know, I love all kinds of people. You know, if you're a good person, I don't care. You know, as long as you're not hurting yourself, hurting anybody else, you're just a good person. Do you, boo? You do. Just don't be a kitty fucker. You know what I'm saying? And don't be an asshole. And maybe instead of having a temper tantrum, if someone pisses you off, once you stop, stand back, step back of the situation, assess the situation, and go about it a different way. Because if you just automatically on attack mode, you're not going to get anything done. They're going to be on attack mode. No one's listening. No one's going to, at the end of it, no one's going to learn nothing from no one, nobody. If you just ignore it, if you walk away, just say fuck off, whatever. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry I went on a rant, but it's just, this video kind of hit some interesting points, I thought. That's why I like Patrick CC. He did some research on that, and I really enjoyed that. So, but anyway, y'all take care now. Here.
Throw a rock into a pond, ripples fade away. Human hearts aren't so lucky. Those battle scars